October 2025 is right around the corner, and it's gonna be another great month in gaming. No matter if you're looking for games with intense combat, games with a beautiful world to explore, or games you can bond with your friends, I believe there'll be something that'll spark your interest. So today I'm sharing 10 great games I'm excited for in October 2025, and hopefully they will all run on the Steam Deck. Let's check it out. So let's start out with Digimon Storytime Stranger. Digimon Storytime Stranger is gonna be released on October 2nd, and it is an RPG game with monster taming elements to it. In this entry, you get to embark on a memorable adventure that takes place both in the real world as well as the digital world. And in this game, you get to play as an agent who witnessed a mysterious creature shortly before a city-wide explosion, and where you must go on this quest to discover the mysteries of why the world needs to go through this type of destruction. As you go about, you will unexpectedly encounter unique characters and whatnot, so it looks like a really fun game that has an interesting story as well as there's a whole lot of fantasy to it. Now, as far as Digimon Storytime Stranger, will it run on a Steam Deck? There's actually a demo out for you to try if you are interested in it. I have not tried it, but I feel like it will most likely run on the Steam Deck because it does not look too graphically demanding, and also on top of that, it is verified prior to release. I know the verifying system is not the most accurate, but basically I feel like it will run on the Steam Deck because it does not look like a too graphically demanding game. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Digimon Storytime Stranger is going to be released on October 2nd. Now up next is Kingmakers. Kingmakers is going to be released on October 8th, and it is a third-person shooter game with medieval strategy elements to it. As far as this game goes, you get to travel back 500 years, back to the medieval times in England, and where you get the chance to change the history of a bloody war based on your actions. What's cool about Kingmakers is that you get to experience being actually on the battlefield back in the ancient times as you fight hordes of enemies, and where there are a variety of ways you can fight the hordes of enemies, whether it is launching grenades, whether it is using rifles, using shotguns, even driving armored SUVs. The possibilities are just so freaking endless, and where you can also choose to switch between from fighting mode where you're just fighting the different enemies, and where you can also switch to being someone who issues orders for the other troops to take action. As far as Kingmakers goes, you can also play with 3 other friends cooperatively, and where you get to team up and get to clear the enemy forces and witness what's gonna happen together. So that is just something that is really cool. Now, as far as Kingmakers goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? Noah from Steam Deck HQ actually asked the lead developer about this question, and according to the lead developer, he said that there is a playtester who claims that the game performs pretty decent on the Steam Deck, and they are also working to optimize the game to be as playable on Steam Deck as possible. And as far as this thing went with Noah's interview with the lead developer, that was about 12 months ago, so who knows, maybe the game will be really optimized with the Steam Deck when it releases on October 8th. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Kingmakers is going to be released on October 8th. Now up next is Absolum. Absolum is a beat-em-up roguelite fantasy hand-drawn game where you get to fight as one of the outcast heroes of Talam, and where this game, like many other roguelite games, there are also intense combat, and where there are a whole bunch of enemies that you get to fight, and basically for Absolum, you gotta do all it takes to reclaim the magic from the Sun King Azura's grasp. It looks like a really fun 2D game that has really interesting characters and hopefully really cool enemies as well as bosses and mini bosses to encounter and fight. It just looks like something that is really fun and really chaotic and whatnot, and it will keep your adrenaline up. Now, as far as Absolum goes, will it run on a Steam Deck? There's actually a demo out for you to try if you are really curious to see if Absolum will run on a Steam Deck, but based on the trailer, it doesn't really look like it is something that is too graphically demanding. It feels like it should be able to run on the Steam Deck and run pretty decently, but again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Absolum is going to be released on October 9th. Now up next is Dreams of Another. Dreams of Another is going to be released on October 9th, and it is a third-person shooter explorational game built around the theme of where creation must involve destruction. What I mean by that is that when you use your gun to shoot, it actually creates materials in the dreamy world that brings about flavor to the world and whatnot. Now, as far as Dreams of Another, will it run on the Steam Deck? There's actually a demo out out for you to try. I have not tried it personally, but I believe that it will most likely run on the Steam Deck because it does not look too graphically demanding, but again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Dreams of Another is going to be released on October 9th. Now up next is Little Nightmares 3. Little Nightmares 3 is an adventure horror game that is centered around two besties, Lo and Alone, and where these two besties are unfortunately lost in this terrifying world and where you must help them face various dangers as well as, more importantly, help them escape. There are a whole bunch of different scary things that lurk your way, such as ferocious monsters and whatnot, so it is definitely a game that I will not recommend if you are somebody who is often easily scared when dealing with horror games. This game most likely will not be for you, but if you are somebody who loves these type of cooperative games, because in this game you can actually play with one other friend where you each control the two besties. It's not a requirement, but you could do that if you want to, so that is something that could be really interesting to check out if you are somebody who wants to find more co-op games that you can play with another friend. But anyways, as far as Little Nightmares 3 goes, will it run on a Steam Deck? There's actually a demo out for you to try. I have not tried it yet, but I feel like there could be a high chance for it to run on a Steam Deck because it does not look too graphically demanding, and also Little Nightmares 1 and Little Nightmares 2, they both run on the Steam Deck, so most likely Little Nightmares 3 will be able to run on a Steam Deck in some shape or form, but again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Little Nightmares 3 is going to be released on October 9th. Now up next is Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Blue Protocol Star Resonance is going to be released on October 9th and is an action RPG game where it gives about a vibrant MMORPG experience. In this game, you get to create your own hero and you also get to team up with others where you get to engage in fights against various enemies and where you also get the opportunity to engage in leisure activities as well, such as fishing, such as crafting, such as exploring the gorgeous world. It is a game that is just vibrant and full of life and whatnot. Now, as far as Blue Protocol Star Resonance goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? I feel like it really depends on the anti-cheat software or if there's any kind of anti-cheat software in this game, because we all know that as far as Linux gamers goes, the major barrier for multiplayer games is the anti-cheat software, where if the anti-cheat software is not compatible with Linux, then you are not able to play that multiplayer game with your friends and whatnot. So it really just depends on if there's anti-cheat software and if the anti-cheat software is compatible with Linux. But other than that, as far as the game goes, it does not look too graphically demanding, and so I can't see why not. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Blue Protocol Star Resonance is going to be released on October 9th. Now up next is Ninja Gaiden 4. Ninja Gaiden 4 is going to be released on October 20th, and it is a ninja hack and slash game with really flashy combat that goes about in very high speed, and where in order for you to survive in the game, you must be really good at timing your moves as well as strategizing and figuring out the enemy patterns and whatnot, as that really plays a big role, as you need to outsmart your enemies or else you will be easily and quickly defeated. In this game, you get to play as a young ninja who must go on a mission to reconcile with his destiny and also save Tokyo from an ancient curse. It is a game in which it looks as if there will be deep lore as well as a deep story and whatnot, so that's just something that is really cool. It really fits my style. Now, as far as Ninja Gaiden 4, will it run on the Steam Deck? As far as this game goes, it is verified prior to release. However, like I said many times, these verified status and whatnot, they are not accurate. As far as this game goes, I actually don't know if it will run well on the Steam Deck, and the main reason as to why I think that way is because Ninja Gaiden 3, according to ProtonDB, basically that is a website for people to report issues about certain games and also share about their steps about tinkering and recommended settings for games and whatnot as it evolves around Linux gamers. But anyways, as far as Ninja Gaiden 3, as far as the reports goes, there are a lot of people that said there are critical crashes as well as stuttering. So yeah, I really don't know if Ninja Gaiden 4 will work well on the Steam Deck. It could potentially have similar types of issues, but again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Ninja Gaiden 4 is going to be released on October 20th. Now up next is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. In this game, you get to play as the Nomad. No pun intended, it is actually the Nomad. And where the Nomad is an elder vampire who has been in hibernation for 100 freaking years, but finally wakes up. And where alongside you, you will be accompanied with a guide, and where you both get to navigate 21st century Seattle, Washington, where Seattle is on the brink of a supernatural war. What's cool about this game is you get to explore. There are also a whole bunch of enemies that you're able to engage in combat that will just pump your adrenaline up, as well as there is just this world that has the look and feel of something that is really dark and whatnot. Now, as far as Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, will it run on a Steam Deck? It is something in which I cannot really say if I'm certain if it is a yes or no, because as far as Vampire the Masquerades, the first game, goes, there are a lot of people that say that there are significant bugs in the first game, so I don't know if the second game will also have that kind of issue, but again, I think we should just wait and see. Once again, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is going to be released on October 21st. Now, up next is Painkiller. Painkiller is going to be released on October 21st, and it is a reimagining of the classic Painkiller franchise. In this entry, you can play with up to 2 other buddies, both in online as well as in person. Now, as far as Painkiller goes, you get to engage in epic battles against hordes of demons as well as titanic terrors, and where in this game you are basically trapped in purgatory for your sins, and where the creator actually gives you a chance to repent in order to redeem yourself. The major deal for yourself to be redeemed is where you need to go on this mission to stop the fallen angel from sending his troops to destroy the earth, as well as earn salvation. It really feels like a game that really has deep lore and whatnot, so it is something in which I'm just really curious and really interested to try out sooner or later. Now, as far as Painkiller goes, will it run on a Steam Deck? Noah from Steam Deck HQ tried it out and was able to actually run Painkiller above 30 frames per second even in the most intensive scenes, and he was using medium settings. This is something that he said based on his article that he wrote. So as far as Painkiller goes, I have hopes of it being able to run on a Steam Deck, but again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Painkiller is going to be released on October 21st. Alright, last but not least, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake is a reimagining of the first 2 Endrick Trilogy Dragon Quest games. As far as these 2 games goes, they are both turn-based games with a whole bunch of spells, abilities, and weapons in which you must use to your advantage, and where you must do all it takes along with your party members to slay various monsters and whatnot. As far as the party members go, speaking of it, there's actually a new party member that is added to this remake, so that is just something that is really cool. Now, as far as Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake goes, will it run on the Steam Deck? Honestly, I don't see why not, because number one, anime games have a great track record of them running on the Steam Deck, but also number two, as far as these remake goes, it doesn't look too graphically demanding for it to not run on the Steam Deck. But again, we shall wait and see. Once again, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake is going to be released on October 30th. Alright friends, these are 10 great games in which I'm excited for that are going to be released in October 2025. Let me know in the comment section below, are there any games in which you are looking forward to that are going to be released in October 2025? We'd love to discuss in the comment section below. And if you love these type of videos sharing my thoughts about upcoming games, I actually will always post a video sharing about upcoming games towards the end of a month or the beginning of the next month. So if you are somebody who is interested in this kind of stuff, feel free to stop by towards the end of a month or the beginning of a month month, I will definitely make a video sharing about games that I'm excited for the upcoming month. So definitely stay tuned for that. And as always, if you love gaming discussions, gaming lists, gaming reviews, and everything related to Steam Deck, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so you'll not miss another video. I try to post Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time and occasionally on Fridays, so stay tuned. Once again, my name is Joe Wang for the Nomadic Gaming Guild, and game on!